How to open firewall ports in Debian-like systems with Ansible? I'm going to show you in a live demo and some simple Ansible code. I'm Luca Burton and welcome in today's episode of Ansible Pilot. Today we are talking about Ansible module UFW. The full name is community.general.ufw, which means that it is part of a collection supported by Ansible community. This module requires Ansible 2.9 or more. It works in a Debian-like system, so distributions like Debian, Ubuntu and Mint with UFW firewall, the uncomplicated firewall. This module manages firewall with UFW, as you expect. The parameter list is pretty wide, but let's going to focus on the options that is useful for our use case to open firewall ports. Let's divide in two series of parameters. The first set of parameters control UFW program and the second the single rule. Let's start with three UFW program parameters. The default parameter, also called as policy, changes the default policy for incoming or outgoing traffic. The login parameter toggles UFW login. Logged packages use the log_kern syslog facility. The state parameter specifies to enable or disable firewall. Four options are possible. Enable reload firewall and enables firewall on boot. Disable unload firewall and disable firewall on boot. Reload firewall. Reset, disable and reset firewall to installation default. Now let's move to four rule-specific parameters. The rule parameter add a firewall rule with four options available: allow, deny, limit or reject, that, as you could imagine, are the state of a single rule. The name parameter, also called as app, use profile located in etc ufw application.d. Over there you can find a profile for the most common applications such as SSH or web servers. The toPort parameter, also called port, specifies the destination port. It could be a single port or a range. For example, 5000 till 5100. The separator is the column. The proto parameter specifies the destination protocol and is pretty explicative. TCP, UDP or other. Let's jump in a real-life demo about how to open firewall ports in Debian-like system with Ansible Playbook. Welcome to my editor. Today I'm going to show you how to install Nginx and configure the firewall accordingly. So let's start our playbook with one play named UFW module demo. Let's target all hosts, and we need a privilege escalation, so become true because we need root permission for installing the software and configuring the firewall. So three different tasks. The first is named Nginx installed. Let me use ansible.builtin.apt module that we already see in the channel. Let me target the setup of name, package name nginx, state will be present. Let me also set the string also nginx. And I'm going to specify also update underscore cache true, so we'll be sure that will be up to date the cache of apt. Let me check it out, the indentation of name that need to be on the same level as the previous one. Yes, it is. So next task it will be ufw installed, which means that the firewall is enabled, that the firewall will be enabled. I'm using community.general.ufw module. The state will be enabled. The default policy is going to be switched to deny, because we would like to deny the connection to all the ports except the one that we define. Logging on, so we could double check also in the syslog. And the third task will be to enable the port that we needed. So in my case for HTTP and HTTPS, and also SSH, otherwise I'm not able to connect to the machine. So this task is named ufw rows, same collection, community.general.ufw. Let me specify some rule for allow pattern, and the ports will be a list of item for a loop. So let me add the value of item, and we are going to specify the loop in the end. The protocol will be TCP, because it's a stateful protocol with underscore items. For the loop, let me start with SSH, so port 22, here we are, then port 80, and port 443 for HTTPS. So HTTP and HTTPS and SSH are enabled, the firewall is enabled, and nginx is installed. Let's verify that this script is going to work in our target machine. Are you ready? Let's jump to the console. Welcome to my console. I will connect to the target machine and check it out if the package nginx is installed and the status of firewall. First of all, let me log in with Ansible user, in my case DevOps. Let me switch to root because I need this permission to check it out with the package. So apt list nginx -a, and we see that there are two different versions available, 1.18 and 1.17. UFW status verbose, status inactive. So the firewall is not enabled and the package is not installed on this machine. Now let me exit and execute my playbook as usual. Ansible -playbook-e, the inventory file, then UFW YML, that is my playbook. So let me execute. Let me remind you that we are going to execute 3 different tasks, one to install nginx and one to configure UFW, to enable UFW, and one to populate with a rule. So I'm expecting 3 different changed status in yellow. It's going to take some moment because nginx installed task need also to update the cache of the machine. And we see that the result is what we expected. So right now nginx is installed, UFW is enabled, and with the 3 rules that we defined for port 22, 80 and 443. Let me connect to the target machine to verify the status. So first with a normal user, let me switch to root with sudo su. Let me execute apt list nginx, and now we see that there is one installed on version 1.18, that is the latest available, and UFW status verbose is listing that the default policy is deny and there is allow for the expected rule. Great job, Ansible! Now you know how to open firewall ports in Debian-like system with Ansible using UFW, the uncomplicated firewall. Subscribe to channel to not miss the next episode of Ansible Pilot, and have a great day!